back at IFA.
So this year is a super special year because it is the centennial year for IFA. And can you imagine holding an event for 100 years? And it started out as a radio show, as Kat informed me, when we were doing a little bit of research on 100 years of IFA. And what does IFA actually stand for?
Internationale Funkausstellung, which means like International Signal Exhibition.
Yeah, and they started premiering radios and then eventually went to the television in 1930. And then it has evolved to this, one of the biggest consumer electronic shows in the world. And so the plan for today is to not only highlight IFA, because of its 100 years, there's so many extra and exciting events this year, but then show you as much tech as quickly as we possibly can. So let's go. I have no idea how the sound will be, but hopefully the DJI mics are doing a good job isolating us. And every year we start off with the LG booth because they just put on a show.
It's so awesome.
And look at the screen this year. It is absolutely huge. But let's go inside and see what they have in store for us. So this year, right away, we can tell that there's going to be a lot of robots
And AI.
and AI integration, of course. That's been the talk of the year. And in LG's booth specifically, or it's not just a booth, but this big hall, they have what they're calling affectionate intelligence, and they're integrating all these different types of sensors to help you regulate your home with humidity and temperature and your devices like your washing machine, which has been already happening.
But they call it affectionate intelligence because they say it's thinking of you, it's supporting you.
And trying to make your home as comfortable as it possibly can be, so that when you arrive home, you're at the best possible environment. And we know that because lately we've been coming home and it's been way too warm in the house, and being able to have fans adjust or air conditionings or temperatures adjust would be
Awesome.
Would be really, really awesome. You probably can't really see all the tech that's embedded in this mirror, but it's pretty full of different data that you can address to whatever you like. I don't know that it'll ever be mainstream, but they did a pretty good job integrating it in this specific mirror. Looks good. Would you ever use it?
I think so. I actually would, I think. Yeah.
The other thing that I saw in the LG hall was the little AI home robot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something you want roaming around your home, but it moves throughout the home so that it can get an accurate reading, so that it can implement that affectionate intelligence, if you will. I don't know if I'm ready for having robots roaming around the home, but a lot of people already do, especially with the robot vacs.
Oh yeah, robot vacs.
So
I've used them for a long time.
So it's basically the same thing, but now it's just something else taking care of your home as well. So right now, we are in the photo, video, and content creation area. And just behind us is the DJI zone. And it is impressive.
Yeah, intact.
So full, because they're always bringing out their best stuff. And as someone who is familiar with DJI, I'm pretty excited about it. But what about you, who's just sort of familiar with the stuff that we use?
I feel they make things really accessible to everyone.
And it's awesome. And speaking of which, they have the new DJI Neo here, the Palm drone, if you will. And I'm really excited to try it because I think that drone not only makes it even more accessible for people to try to maybe get into drones and learning about drones, flying them safely, but also for creators like ourselves who want to be able to get unique shots, flying them through a car, flying them out of the trunk of a car, or those like classic flying it through a tent when you're camping. And doing it with the Mini Pro is possible, but still a little more dangerous. So this could be a good option, and especially for only $200.
Yeah.
So right now, Kat and I are cruising through this photography and video and content creation zone, and what we're noticing a lot of it's a lot of like the action cam stuff, like DJI Insta360.
Yeah.
What we don't see at all is GoPro. GoPro's not here at all, but there is a lot of these other companies that I've never heard of, and there's a couple that I have heard of, like Polyland, which I think a lot of people know, and then obviously Tilta, which I think a lot of people also know. Should we film this use this for our travel videos?
Yeah.
Let's see. And is it using LiDAR for focusing, or?
I'm focused.
Oh, you're pulling focus. Oh, cool.
It's the LiDAR.
Yeah. So we're at the Lexar booth, and I was just showing the Lexar Professional Workflow Go, which has its own power source, and you have these modules that you can customize. And what you can do is, if you're in the field, you can dump your SD card onto an SSD drive, so you don't need your laptop. But you can also attach your phone and dump onto there, or can you take from the phone onto this hard drive? Yeah, you can also transfer from your phone. If you're shooting with your phone, you can dump all your footage onto this SSD drive, because sometimes when you're shooting with just your phone in ProRes, it takes up all the storage on your phone right away, and you want to get rid of that so you can continue shooting. And this is amazing. Do you know what the cost of this is? The price?
Not yet.
Yeah, so we don't know the price yet, but I'll update you as soon as I find out what it is. So this new hub system from Lexar is super interesting to me, and I'm gonna definitely follow up with everybody on this. What I love is this year they implemented a little creator hub, and I know that they understand that the creator community really supports up and coming tech, along with everybody else, because there's families and kids here. And so they have this little cool zone where you can come in and edit some of your content if you need to really quickly. There's also a Sony rental booth that you can take advantage of, and then they serve some snacks and some drinks, which is really needed because these are usually really long days.
Yeah.
And I love that they made a bit of a focus on the tech and creator community this year.
Yeah, it makes it more of an experience than just I go from booth to booth and look at tech. It's more like, it's more an
They're involving a community.
Yeah.
And that community aspect, as I've said always, even with my channel, is the soul of everything. There's always a ton of headphone brands. Like, who wears these other brands?
And I don't know any of them.
So mechanical keyboards are not a new thing, but Katerina has gotten pretty interested in it.
Yes.
And let's just give the people the sound. This is by the brand Newfree.
Yeah.
How does this sound?
It's been released, yes, but it's like
Clicky, very clicky.
Clicky. Let's
Yeah.
go to the buttery one.
Here. That's nice.
I'm actually into these halos over here.
Makes work so much more enjoyable.
It's like a gentle popping sound, huh?
Yeah,
Really, really nice.
really nice.
Now we're approaching home appliances, and this is the Mova/Dream booth. Katerina and I actually own
One of them?
one of those guys
Yeah,
there.
and it's amazing.
Like Kat and I said, we own some. We keep calling it Dream, but they call it
Dreamy.
they're calling themselves Dreamy. So now we'll say Dreamy, and they have a massive booth,
Huge.
and they have some hair dryers there that we didn't really showcase, but man, they're coming for Dyson
They are.
hard.
With their vacuums and their hair stuff.
Their price point's way better.
Yeah.
We've been so happy with our Dreamy stuff.
Yeah.
So we will continue to support that brand for sure. Really, really nice stuff. Check it out if you haven't
Yeah.
already. And I don't even know if I've ever seen them in North America. Like I said, this year at IFA, robots have taken over.
You see it and then you need it.
Until you have more robots, and this one is a pool cleaner. Why has robot vacuum? All right, so right now Katerina and I are just approaching the Lifen booth, and last year they were much smaller from what I remember. And it was just these little toothbrushes.
But
Right
look
here.
at it now.
But now their booth has evolved majorly. Always a lot of bags and backpacks at IFA. This year is no different. Dalroy booth. So it wouldn't be a proper IFA if we didn't stop by the Peak Design booth. My OG camera bag. We should go up to this one. So last year, Katerina and I featured, this is one of our top picks,
Yeah.
which was their projector. And it looks like this year they launched their own little mobile projector that is going to try to compete with the Samsung one. What's interesting enough is that Volkswagen Bully,
Set up.
Samsung used it last year, and this year these guys, they rented it out to these guys. Last year we featured one similar to this one,
Yeah, yeah.
but this looks like a more,
Oh, that one.
it's over there.
Yeah.
They have a smaller version here, which is this one. And last year it was this one. Every year I'm always finding there's some latest and greatest television. If we thought that 115 was big, look at this one. 163. This TV is supposed to be 3D. Does it look 3D to you guys, or does it not? Does it look 3D to you, Kat?
Sort
Sort of, hey?
But it sort of gives me a headache.
I'm not a fan of 3D movies anyways, so I don't know what use I would have for this. But in art galleries,
Yeah,
that
that's
could have been cool. Transparent TV.
crazy.
I could see some cool uses for it.
Yeah. It's cool in the middle of a room.
We finally made it to one of our favorite booths, and I don't know why it's become one of my favorite booths, because I don't even really use this brand that often, but their stuff is just so impressive. We made it to the Honor booth, and I'm super excited to check out their Magic V3, because we were impressed by last year, and I know that this year it's even better. Super thin. Even when folded together, I think it's thinner than the iPhone, right?
Yeah.
See that? Guys, it's the thickness of an iPhone. But then when you fold it out, it just looks so rad. What a phone. Google is the first time I've seen it here from the last 3 years that we've done this. Yeah, there it is. Look at that camera system.
Feels and looks like an iPhone.
Feel compared to the other one.
Not as luxe, more technical.
The edges feel hard, hey?
Yes.
Nice color, hey?
Yeah, very nice color.
Do you prefer this type of flip phone or the other one?
The other one.
Why?
I don't need my phone to be smaller necessarily like this. I just want the other one is nicer for reading already.
And it's actually not that thin.
Yeah.
Ich habe jetzt hier quasi so eine kleine Prisi, damit ich euch ein bisschen so die KI-Funktion
How does it feel being open compared to the other one?
was ihr denn alles sozusagen
More techy again.
klar,
But how does it feel, like the hinge?
will ja auch ein bisschen was
Good.
nochmal
Yeah,
draus
very
ziehen.
smooth.
Mal davon abgesehen, dass man geil damit
Yeah,
umgeht.
very, very smooth.
And that is it for our IFA adventure.
2024.
And it was a big one this year because, as we mentioned at the beginning, it was the IFA 100. I think you can see it behind us, 100 years of IFA. And I think one of the things that I tried to do this year was, beyond just showing off all the tech, because I think there's gonna be a lot of information about that, I really wanted to show off sort of the celebration
And the history of it.
and the history of it all. There was a really cool exhibition to show off the first tape recorder, the first projector, the first color television, and just celebrating tech design. And something that is one of the reasons why I'm most interested in tech. But this year there was just a lot of focus on AI. And what did you think about that?
I loved it because especially my favorite thing from all of IFA was the Bali, the Samsung
Yeah, it was like a little a house assistant.
home robot that can feed your dog, turn on your lights.
Yeah, like we don't know much about it because we didn't get to see a really good presentation. I think LG also had one, but I think it's these home assistant robots that have sensors and they can trigger lights, feed your dog, as Kat said. And like we said, it's no different than a home vac,
No,
except that it can do more than that.
Yeah.
And I think Bali actually even has like a projector, so it can like project shows,
your workouts.
your workouts, or if your kids are at home, or I don't know. There's a lot of use cases for it. My favorite thing this year, beyond all the tech, and I had some favorite tech. I had the Lexar hub that had the on-the-go data transfer station that I kind of talked about. But for me, it was really meeting all the people. I got to meet some really cool people. Rob from Moment and Moment team finally made it down. They told me that there's really good distribution in Europe now.
Yeah.
So really cool to meet the Moment peeps. And then also Amy from
Lifen.
which is super cool, like a home lifestyle tech, which secretly I'm into.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, like not always the most exciting thing to talk about, but they're doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Kat was brushing her teeth, and a little freshened up during the conference when you're talking to a lot of people. And I also got to meet the people from Tilta, a brand that I've been aware of for a really long time. And they hooked us up,
With very awesome.
some really cool
phone
phone
straps.
straps, and I got to try a bunch of the Tilta gear and got to check out all the DJI stuff. And Kat was super impressed by those massive industry drones,
The
farming
agriculture
drones.
ones, yeah.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. We talked our way through the conference. We tried to show as much as we could. We tried to show the Creator Hub. I'm so pumped that IFA. Oof. It was such a long day that both our camera batteries
Died.
died. So we're jumping over to the iPhone. And that's actually a nice little segue, to be honest, because this year, as all years, there's a lot of concentration on phone accessories and mobility. But for me specific, since I've been shooting with the iPhone more, now that it has ProRes, there were a lot of companies that were creating accessories for more memory. Lexar, the company that I already mentioned, they have a tiny little SSD that you can dock in on the back, tiny. And there were a ton of companies that made SSDs that you could just quickly magnetize to the back of the iPhone, and you don't even need any extra cages or anything. I think people are coming around to the idea that a lot of people shooting on phones, the moment guys were asking if I use my phone a lot,
Yes.
they're coming out with some cool stuff for phones still. Now we can wrap up the video. The branding this year has been on point. It used to be a little bit more corporatized, I felt, like with the blue and red or the red and black, but this year they've gone with the neon colors. And as we mentioned, there was the content creator hub, and they've really sort of invited a lot of creators in to talk about tech and this industry that isn't going anywhere. One of my favorite parts about this whole thing is there's all walks of life here.
Yeah.
Because as you said,
Tech, everyone needs tech.
Everyone
There's
uses it.
something for everyone.
whether you love cooking, cleaning, photography, videography, whatever,
Hair, styling.
fashion, all that. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you saw some tech that you kind of liked. If you have any questions about anything, I will try my best to answer them. Just leave the comments below. Consider sharing, and thank you for your support. So,
As always,
live passionately.
and stay inspired.
Bye.
Bye.